Boko Haram strikes in Borno, kills 9, injures 4. Lassa fever death toll hits 145 as fatality rate rises. NDLEA boss Lagos drug syndicate nabs kingpin and family members. On the foreign scene, Hezbollah rejects disarmament despite Israeli pressure. Good evening. Welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us. At least 9 people have been confirmed dead and 4 others injured following a Boko Haram attack on Malam Fatori in Abadam local government area of Borno State. The assault on the border community located 272 kilometers from Maiduguri has triggered fresh security concerns. In a condolence message delivered by Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs, Sungumele, Governor Babagana Zulum assured residents that the government and military are stepping up efforts to secure the area. The commissioner also warned residents against collaborating with insurgents as excavators have been deployed to dig off defensive trenches around the town. Each bereaved family received 500,000 naira, while the injured got 250,000 naira in government support. Over in Plateau State, the police command has confirmed taking precautionary measures following an internal memo indicating a bomb threat targeting the University of Jos, UniJos, which has since circulated online and caused panic among students and residents. The memo, dated July 4, 2025, was signed by Agama Solomon Changni, the acting chief security officer of the university. Though not officially delivered to the public, it began circulating widely on Saturday. It warned security personnel at the institution to be on high alert and to intensify checks at all entry and exit points. In response to the development, the Plateau State Commissioner of Police, CP Emmanuel Olugbemiga Additional ordered the immediate deployment of the Explosive Ordnance Disposal EUD unit to conduct thorough sweeps of the university and other sensitive areas across Jos. The command, through its spokesperson, Alfred Alabo, clarified that while the bomb threat remains unconfirmed and lacks credible evidence, proactive steps have been taken to safeguard lives and property. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Nigerian armed forces to decisively tackle all security threats, including terrorists, insurgents, bandits, and separatists undermining the nation's unity. Speaking through Vice President Kashim Shettima at the grand finale of the 2025 Nigerian Army Day celebration in Kaduna, Tinubu said the military has his full backing to act without hesitation. He described terrorism and separatism as existential threats that must no longer be seen as mere disturbances, assuring that the federal government will continue to invest in modern weapons, intelligence, and personal welfare. The president also paid tribute to fallen soldiers and their families, promising their sacrifices will never be forgotten. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede emphasized troop welfare as key to transformation, adding that the Nigerian Army will continue to deny criminal elements any safe haven. The Nigerian Senate Chief Whip Muhammad Tahir Mungunu has assured that the creation of Savannah State will be realized. He disclosed this during a brief meeting with Southern Borno leaders in Maiduguri. He said the Savannah State bill will be considered at the National Assembly, noting that the clamor for Savannah State dates back as 40 years. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Conference of Southern Borno Development Association, Dauda Danladi, said stakeholders across the state, including Governor Zulum and traditional chiefs, support the state creation. He further explained that 9 local governments, if turned to a state, will address insecurity challenges.
From the chairman of the zonal Senate hearing, as well as all the members of the esteemed 1999 Review Constitution Committee, we are very, very optimistic, and you have given us hope that God's willing, Savannah State will become a reality. I do not want to belabor the issue because we have already submitted our memorandum. This is just for me to rise up and say we thank you very much and we appreciate your support. But one thing that is very clear is that distinguished senators, Borno State, the size of Borno State, you will put the Southeast 3 times in Borno State. And we believe that if this request is granted, it's going to be conterminous with managing the challenges of security that has bedeviled this region for over a decade.
There is unanimity among all the stakeholders of Borno State for the creation of Savannah State in order to bring dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of our people. We are wholeheartedly behind it. We are going to put heads together with our leader, who is more experienced in the politics of National Assembly than us, so that this move is going to see the light of the day. Thank you.
No fewer than 21 people have lost their lives in a ghastly road crash that occurred along the Zaria-Kano Highway on Sunday morning, the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) has confirmed. The tragic accident, which took place around 8:23 a.m. at Kasorowa Dogo in the Katsali area, involved a DAF trailer. According to the Kano State Sector Command of the FRSC, preliminary investigations revealed that the driver of the Hummer bus violated traffic rules by driving against the flow of traffic, resulting in a devastating head-on collision with the oncoming trailer. The impact triggered a fire outbreak that engulfed both vehicles, leaving most of the victims burned beyond recognition. Sector Corps Commander MB Baturi said the Corps rescue team, upon receiving the distress report, promptly contacted the federal and state fire services to help put out the blaze, while dispatching personnel to the scene to commence rescue and evacuation operations. Operatives of the NDLEA have intercepted cocaine concealed in female lipsticks and property title documents en route to the UK and Saudi Arabia. The drugs were recovered from cargo being prepared for shipment at the Lagos Courier Company on Thursday. A total of 420 grams of cocaine hidden in 84 lipstick tubes were seized, along with 280 grams found inside a property document. In a separate operation, NDLEA arrested a notorious drug kingpin, Ajeshibo Emami, also known as Warri Kingsman, in Ikeja, Lagos. The 3-day sting led to the arrest of 3 other suspects and the recovery of 681 pouches of Canadian loud cannabis weighing 114.2 kilograms. Also in Lagos, Aja Johnson Uchenna, his wife Rosemary, their 2 daughters and a family friend were arrested for running a drug distribution network. The DSS first apprehended the family in Ojo on June 13 and handed them over to NDLEA with 277.5 kilograms of skunk. NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Buba Mara, retired, praised officers nationwide for their work in tackling both drug supply and demand. Nigeria has recorded 145 deaths from Lassa fever as of week 25 of 2025, with a case fatality rate of 18.6%. Now, according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, 781 confirmed cases were from 5,943 suspected infections across 20 states and 101 local government areas. The report said 5 states of Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi accounted for 91% of confirmed cases. The majority of infections were among young adults aged 21 to 30, with slightly more males affected. NCDC said while overall cases have declined compared to 2024, the rise in fatality rate is concerning, driven by late diagnosis, poor health-seeking behavior, and high treatment costs. Still in health-related matters, mental health experts in Nigeria have identified the role of the environment, especially green spaces, as emerging silent healers for those battling stress, anxiety, and depression. This comes amid a global rise in mental health challenges, with Nigerians not spared as the present economic challenges continue to take its toll on Nigerians. Aisha Haruna has more.
Spending time in nature has long been linked to better mental health. Whether it's a stroll through a park, a quiet moment in a garden, or a hike in the woods, green spaces can significantly reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. Experts say incorporating more parks and natural spaces into urban design is critical to reducing the mental health toll of fast-paced city life. Dr. Mariam Omishore Bakari, a mental health coach and physiotherapy enthusiast, says connecting with nature gives one a sense of belonging, which brings them from their busy lives to calmness, peace, and tranquility. This, she says, helps to promote mental state and emotional well-being.
When we are in connection with nature, we are in green spaces, we've gone to the lawn or something, there's something in us that's awakened, which is like, oh, this looks like where I belong. So in essence, it brings us from our busy lives to calmness. It brings us to peace. It brings us to tranquility. So that's how important green spaces are in helping us promote our mental states and helping us with emotional well-being. So the importance can be overemphasized.
According to Dr. Mariam, everyone benefits from access to green spaces. This includes children, the elderly, and also people with mental health challenges. She stressed the need for parents to allow their children to play outdoors, including taking them to green spaces to connect with nature.
If you talk about categories of people that benefit, I would say everyone benefits, I tell you. But yeah, if you really want to now cone it down to certain categories of people, such as the children. In fact, if I have my way, I would say every home should ensure at regular intervals take their children out.
Environmental and climate justice advocate Nicholas Adeniyi identified rapid urbanization as a leading driver of deforestation in Nigeria. According to Adeniyi, major development projects often begin by clearing trees to make space, a practice that continues to exacerbate environmental degradation. He emphasized the critical role of afforestation in reversing the trend, warning that continued deforestation contributes significantly to global warming, which in turn poses serious threats to public health.
So there is the general sentiment that urbanization is a major cause of deforestation globally. When there needs to be any development project, they would have to fall whatever is on the way. Most of the time, there are trees. So it's important to replace these trees, and that is what has led to the initiative that calls for the need to integrate green spaces in urban planning. So basically, this is to plant trees along with housing, plant trees along with road construction, and all of that. And this is to ensure that the biodiversity that exists there, as whose habitat is that location, are kind of like put in context in these plans to ensure that you protect the biodiversity, you protect the land from further land degradation that might have been caused by these projects.
While commending certain initiatives, particularly in Abuja, for their tree planting campaigns, Adeniyi called on authorities to prioritize the development of parks and community gardens to promote mental well-being and give residents better access to nature.
A major initiative that I can point out that is an obvious example that you can see by yourself and anybody would be the Abuja tree planting initiative, urban green spaces initiative, which was part of the master plan of the FCT. So if you look at areas like Metama, if you look at areas like Asokoro, take an area view from above, you would see you may not even see many houses. You see a lot of trees. This conscious efforts to ensure that while you're building, you're also planting at the same time.
Many park goers say they feel calmer, more focused, and emotionally refreshed after spending time in nature. While some visit parks regularly to cope with work-related stress or as part of their daily self-care routines.
Yes, I do visit green space, not all the time, once in a while, and I enjoy visiting green space because there is fresh air. Yeah, you can have fresh air, have a good time yourself.
The reason why I come around is because it helps me to relax because of the green, the fields, just like here, they have something like a lake there. So the atmosphere is friendly, it's relaxed and quiet. So I love coming to the park to relax if I want to think or if I want to figure out some stuffs like that.
Visiting parks has been a hobby to me because it has no limited time. I love green areas and especially a place where there is water, the lake view, the greenish, the fresh air. It all means a lot to my health. So I do visit parks often.
I visited this park last week, Sunday, based how my friend invited me to come and see how Jabi Park look. So as I come to the place, I see a lot of different things where children are climbing horses, others are riding bikes, but there's some problem in other places where the environment need to be maintained. If it should be possible, it will be more encouraging if the place can be maintained so that it will attract others to come.
These personal stories reflect what research has already confirmed. 85% of people say they feel more relaxed after spending time in green space. 76% report lower anxiety levels, while 92% believe green spaces are essential for mental well-being. Beyond reducing stress, green spaces foster community connection and a sense of belonging, while acting as havens of peace in an increasingly stressful world. As experts advocate for greener cities, one message is clear: nature is a vital part of healing and living well. Aisha Haruna reporting for Trust TV.
That's the London News update from Trust TV. Up ahead. BUK celebrates first-class graduate with an uncommon background. More when we return. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. I told you that Boko Haram strikes in Borno, kills 9, injures 4. We also informed you that Lassa fever death toll hits 145 as fatality rate rises. 2 more stories. The inspiring story of a young man who combined grit, hard work, and ambition to rise above his circumstances has captured national attention. At Bahrain University, Carlos denied convocation. The 7-year-old Ibrahim Saraja graduated with first-class honors, a feat that not only earned him applause but also touched many hearts. Trust TV caught up with the Katsina Burn Phenom, who shared how he balanced academics and the hustle of riding a tricycle to finance his education.
Born and raised in Kofar Arewa, Daura, Katsina State, Ibrahim Saraja is the embodiment of resilience. To pay his way through school, he worked daily as a tricycle operator, a demanding job that didn't stop him from excelling in the classroom. Against the odds, he graduated with an impressive 4.56 CGPA, a success story that quickly went viral on social media.
I am the first person to graduate in my family, and the course that I studied is agricultural science education, and my family play a role in my education by giving me guidance, but I lack financial support. The situation is very difficult for me and challenge. There is a lot of challenges that I face. I face a lot of challenges because I mix studying and also doing the driving keke napep at the same time. In some time, I used to take only 3 days in Bayero University. Then I came back to Daura in order to drive my keke napep so that I can get the money to sponsor myself in my study in order to buy food and paying school fees and others.
Today, Ibrahim is still in the transport business, riding a leased tricycle while nurturing big dreams. But with a degree in hand, his sights are set on using education as a tool to transform his community and inspire other young Nigerians.
My work is, as I have said earlier, is driving keke napep. And the challenges that I face is and as you can see, the napep is too old, and the napep is not my own. It's from it's my friend's napep. My plan for the future is I want to get capital so that to start an enterprise, especially farm enterprise. And I want to, if I didn't get capital, start the enterprise, I want to get a government job, especially in my areas of study. I can contribute in the community through organizing a regular workshop and training in my field of study, like rearing of livestock and farming as well. And I can encourage or mentor youth to engage in farming activities in our locality.
From the dusty streets of Daura to the graduation stage in Kano, Ibrahim Saraja's story is a powerful reminder that with enough determination, perseverance and purpose, no dream is out of reach, no matter the obstacles.
The Ondo State Police Command has rescued 40 Ghanaian nationals, including one David Agirinya, who were allegedly trafficked into Nigeria under false pretenses. The command said the victims were rescued by operatives of the Tactical Intelligence Response Squad in Akure, following a petition forwarded through the Interpol Liaison Office at the force headquarters in Abuja. The case involved transnational human trafficking. Investigations revealed that the victims were lured into Nigeria in 2024 with false promises of employment and travel arrangements to countries like Canada. Authorities said the suspects were part of a larger trafficking network targeting individuals from West African countries. Many of the rescued victims lacked valid travel documents, while others held expired ones. The Director General of the Raw Materials Research and Development Council, RMRDC, Professor Nayelego Ikemonso, has announced that the implementation of new tax incentives will reduce cost burdens on industries that innovate, build and manufacture using locally sourced solutions. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Professor Ikemonso stated that the tax incentive guidelines aim to foster research and development and the utilization of local raw materials in Nigerian industries. He highlighted that the policy's approval signals the government's commitment to creating fertile ground for sustainable industrial innovation and economic diversification. The DG emphasized that the new framework will encourage companies to invest in R&D activities and reward them for using Nigerian-sourced raw materials, thereby reducing reliance on imports, strengthening the local value chain, and creating opportunities for local suppliers and producers. Away from Nigeria, Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem says the group will not disarm or surrender despite growing pressure from Israel and international calls for its demilitarization. His comments came ahead of a planned visit by U.S. envoy Thomas Barak, who is expected to push Lebanese officials to ensure Hezbollah lays down arms by year's end. Qassem insists that Israel must first halt its airstrikes, withdraw from occupied Lebanese territories and release detainees before any talks on national defense can begin. Under the 2024 ceasefire, Hezbollah was to pull back north of the Litani River, while Israel was to withdraw from southern Lebanon. But both sides accuse each other of violations. And in sports, Kun Caliphate FC edged Crown FC 1-0 in their 2025 NNL Super 8. Playoffs opened on Saturday at the Stephen Keshe Stadium in Asaba. thanks to a 6-minute penalty from Chijuke Ahieke. His confident strike sent the goalkeeper the wrong way and secured the first goal of the tournament. Kunkalefad FC president Onyinyechi Amefula expressed deep emotion and gratitude following the win. In an interview, she credited divine grace and the team's determination for the result. That concludes news updates at this time. For more of our news programs, documentaries, you can follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.